Ryan Dempster goes to the hill trying to take advantage of the friendly confines as he goes for his 16th career win against Milwaukee. Next. Finally, the Cubs are back here at Wrigley Field after a 10-game road trip during which they went just 2-8, but it's a new week as they welcome in the first-place Milwaukee Brewers, the first of a 4-game series here on Comcast Sportsnet. And as we look at the updated NL Central standings, they have changed over the last 24 hours. Milwaukee has jumped past the Cardinals and into sole possession of first place after sweeping St. Louis. The Cubs right now just trying to get some momentum going as they are a distant 12 games back. Hi again, everyone. Along with Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. Cool temperatures, but a nice evening for Cubs baseball. Prince Fielder has been the main reason Milwaukee is where they are right now. They're getting good starting pitching, but Prince Fielder makes this offense go.
Well, he's a free agent to be at season's end, Len, and we've all heard about the salary drives when you're playing for your future contracts. Well, the salary drive has begun for Prince Fielder. After a relatively slow start by his standards, he has really picked it up in the month of June. We're going to show you some numbers here in the month. He has really been hitting the ball well, hitting it out to all parts of the ballpark. All 8 of his home runs have either tied or given the Brewers a lead in the ballgame, not only putting up big numbers, but putting them up in the clutch.
And he was just named the National League Player of the Week for the second time already this season. It's going to be a left-hander, Randy Wolf, who's faced the Cubs many times before, and the Cubs handed him a loss in Milwaukee in April.
Yeah, he's been pitching pretty well lately. Last time out, the bullpen blew a 2-1 lead, game that he should have won. You see his numbers against the Cubs in his career. They should be very familiar with the Brewers lefty.
And for Ryan Dempster, a milestone performance. This will be his 500th career appearance, and he has dominated the Brewers.
Oh, he has dominated with a tune of a 15-3 record, ERA just over 2.5, and what a gutty performance last time out for Demps against the Reds. We weren't even sure if he was going to be able to pitch.
Jeff Baker off the DL, Kerry Wood to the DL with a blister on his finger. Ryan Dempster trying to build off a gutsy performance as he battled a hip injury in his last start. It's the Brewers and the Cubs from Wrigley Field next.
Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. 75 years of being right here in Illinois means no one's closer to your wellness. Experience wellness everywhere. Subway. Every day at Subway, choose from many delicious regular footlong subs for just $5. Subway. Eat fresh. Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today or go to shophonda.com and find great values on a new Honda. AT&T U-Verse. Find out more of what's possible at att.com. AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field. The Cubs will be in Chicago for the next week and a half. Their next road trip will begin on the south side, but it should be a fun week. First place Milwaukee here for 4. And then the New York Yankees. And Derek Jeter quite possibly going for his 3,000th hit. They'll come in for a 3-gamer starting on Friday here on CSN. Let's take a look at the Milwaukee Brewers Southwest starting lineup written out by their first-year manager, Ron Renneke. They come in tied for first in the National League in home runs. Weeks, Kotze, Braun at the top. Fielder, former Cub Casey McGee, Corey Hart in right. Betancourt's his shortstop. Will Nieves catching tonight for left-hander Randy Wolf.
And let's take a look at the Cubs' Suzuki defense tonight. Montañez, Campana, and Baker. That's right. Montañez, Campana, and Baker across the outfield, left to right. Ramirez and Castro on the left side of the infield. Barney and DJ LeMahieu getting his first start at first base. Giovanni Soto behind the plate. He'll be catching pitches from our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher, right-hander Ryan Dempster. We alluded to his last start against the Cincinnati Reds. He went down to the bullpen to warm up. All of a sudden, Lester Strode, the bullpen coach, made his way to the home plate meeting with the umpires to inform Mike Quade they weren't sure if Dempster was going to be able to go. Rodrigo Lopez began to warm up, but Dempster got that hip loose, went out and pitched one of his better ball games of the year. 6 innings of 3-hit, 1-run baseball, struck out 8, walked only 1 batter against the Reds in that game.
Now the umpire's Brian Onora, an Ohio native. Read an article about umpiring in Sports Illustrated and said, I want to do that for a living. And this is his 15th full season in the major leagues. And always good to see Marlon Byrd, and he has really added a positive influence to that clubhouse. Just kind of hanging around the team has been a good thing for everybody. Still ways away from returning to action. But if you don't feel motivated being around Marlon Byrd, you've got a lot of issues. Ricky Weeks will lead it off for the Brewers, and the first pitch is low and away. Ball 1. "12 home runs for Ricky Weeks." And as he takes a pitch inside.
3 leadoff home runs this season, 24 for his career. And much like Big Prince Fielder hitting in that 4 spot, Ricky Weeks hitting home runs to all parts of the ballpark.
Able to hold up. It's 3-0. And that's a called strike.
Always a good idea to keep the leadoff hitter off base. Goes without saying, but especially in the case of Ricky Weeks and the Milwaukee Brewers. He scored 22 runs in the last 22 Brewer games.
Swings and pops it up. And it's shortstop Starlin Castro behind second base for the first out. Another roster move today. Kerry Wood's been battling through a right index finger blister. So he's on the DL. And Jeff Baker, as expected, activated from the disabled list. The Cubs were working with a 13-man pitching staff. That's why you can replace Wood with the position player and not be short, as Montañez makes a catch and retires Mark Kotze. 2 quick outs. Reed Johnson, hopefully he'll be back at some point this week. He is day-to-day after getting beamed in the helmet 2 nights ago in Iowa. And he's got some bruising around his left eye. He said he got hit by a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, caught mostly helmet, but might have deflected and hit him near the eye.
If you didn't know any better, you'd think that Marlon Byrd and Reed Johnson got in a fight in the clubhouse. Both gentlemen hit by 93-mile-an-hour fastballs. Marlon Byrd took the brunt of his right off of his cheekbone. Fortunately, Reed Johnson took the brunt off the helmet.
2 balls, no strikes on the current leading vote getter among all National League potential All-Stars, Ryan Braun. According to the MLB release today, he has received 2.23 million votes, most among all National League players. He's a 3-time All-Star, and he's probably on his way to starting his 4th consecutive All-Star game. 3-1. I know you like it hot, but I like this kind of weather even in June. 63 degrees as we got started. Certainly cooler near the lake. It got up in the mid to upper 70s in most of the Chicago metro area. I'm fine with it, just nice and temperate, maybe a light jacket. This is great.
I like it hot.
Do you like it hot and humid like we had in Cincinnati and St. Louis?
Sure.
It's rolled into left and a base hit. And it will give Fielder an opportunity here in the opening inning with a runner on base.
It's nearly on the ground. Yeah, Ryan Braun always been a pretty good low ball hitter, just protecting the plate there. Went down and shot that ball through the left side for a base hit. Now Prince Fielder with a hole on the right side, a little bit of a hole on the right side. He'll probably try to shorten up and just punch one over that. No, maybe not. Prince Fielder's going to try to hit one out on one of the avenues.
Well, one thing to consider, at least for tonight, and it might be the whole series, is Casey McGee off to a very slow start. And he's batting behind Prince Fielder. He's 3 for his last 43. That includes an 0 for 27 that he snapped a few days ago. So when in doubt, I think the Cubs will take their chances by pitching to McGee. Fielder has started every game for the Brewers at first base. And he has hit 11 balls out of the ballpark here at Wrigley. Boy, Bob, that's the other thing about Prince Fielder. And we used to say about Greg Maddux, who would give you 34, 35 starts every year. Adam Dunn, for most of his career, has been a guy who will play 155 to 160 games. The durability of Prince Fielder, I think, is a factor and something that's worth money. Not only does he produce, but he stays on the field. And if you're going to hand out the kind of money he's probably going to get as Braun takes off for second and he's going to get in. Ron Renicky is the type of manager who likes to make things happen. So he's now at second, and first base all of a sudden is open, and a 2-1 count on Fielder.
15th stolen base of the season for Ryan Braun in 18 attempts. Yeah, you're right. Ron Renicky likes to be an aggressive manager, likes to get runners in motion, and he's got some guys in his lineup that are capable of stealing bases, capable of going first to third on a base hit.
Off the outside corner. Since 2006, Fielder has appeared in at least 157 games per season. Now look, a fluke injury could come up and end his year at any moment. But by and large, you know that Prince Fielder's not going to deal with nagging sorts of injuries. He's going to play through them as they end up walking him intentionally.
Well, I think that's a recipe the Cubs should follow throughout this entire series, regardless of who's on the mound. If you've got a base open at first until Casey McGee proves he can swing the bat and do some damage, You've got to take the bat out of Prince Fielder's hands in this series. He is red hot. 8 homers in his last 10 games.
McGee beat the Cubs by hitting a 2-run homer off Kerry Wood on April 10th. That came in the 8th inning and was in a pinch hit at bat. And he takes a strike. Blocked by Soto. The ball bounced way out in front of home plate.
I talked about Gio the other day. By far the most improved aspect of his ball game is blocking those pitches in the dirt. He was okay at it before. Now he is really good.
Two and one. Cubs went 1-2 in Milwaukee back in early April. In all, they'll play 16 times this season. 3 series in Milwaukee, 2 here at Wrigley. Dempster has won his last 7 consecutive home starts versus the Brewers. And the 2-2 pitch, he has run it full. The base runners will get a head start with 2 outs. Ed Cedar at third, reminding Braun and Fielder of that. Garth Orge is the first base coach. Inning kept alive by Braun with a single. He then stole second. Fielder was intentionally walked, and now it's Casey McGee with a 3-2 count. Hit well to right, but Jeff Baker is there, and the inning comes to an end. So the Brewers strand a couple. The Cubs are coming up when we return. Quaddy's Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Starlin Castro's going to lead off against the lefty Wolf. Barney, Jeff Baker, fresh off the DL, is in right. Aramis Ramirez at third. Giovanni Soto catching. Montañez in left. DJ LeMahieu's first ever action at first. Tony Campana in center, and Dempster the pitcher hitting ninth.
Quick look at the Brewers defensively. Ryan Braun, Mark Kotze, and Corey Hart left to right across the outfield. The left side of the infield's had some issues this year. Casey McGee at third with 11 errors. Unieski Betancourt with 8 errors at shortstop. Ricky Weeks over at second base. Prince Fielder at first. Will Nieves doing the catching tonight. He's kind of Randy Wolf's valet catcher. Of course, that means Randy Wolf, left-hander, is on the mound for the Brewers. Even 4-4 record with a 3.49 ERA through his first 13 starts this season.
And he has pitched a lot here at Wrigley Field. This is his 10th career start at Wrigley, 3-4 with a 3.99. Fastball strike at 89 miles an hour to Castro. 1-1 the count. Over their first 48 games, the Cubs as a team hit .280 and averaged 4.5 runs per game. Over their last 16, they're hitting .220 and scoring 2.8 per contest. And there's no question the injuries have hurt this team. But that, coupled with short starts by the rotation, and the Cubs are really scuffling right now.
And some misplaced aggression. A lot of very early pitch swinging, first and second pitches of the at bat. Good to see Starlin Castro start the game for the Cubs here, getting himself into a good hitter's count.
That's a fair ball past McGee. And it'll be a leadoff double for Castro.
Fastball on that inside part of the plate. Casey McGee giving Starlin Castro a lot of room down that line, and Starlin shoots it down into the left field corner for Ryan Braun. Good start. Darwin Barney with a job to do. First at bat of the game. Got to move Castro to third somehow.
Called strike right at the knees. Darwin just 3 for his last 21 after a 7 for 12 stretch. Still leads all rookies in batting average, hits, and runs. Will Nieves with the block. Immediately discarded the mask and kept Castro at second.
Mentioned Nieves is kind of the personal catcher for Randy Wolf. You've got to give your starting catcher a day off every now and again. So Ron Renicky uses Nieves to catch Randy Wolf. And chances are when Wolf comes out of the game, Nieves will too.
Since May 9th, the Brewers have won 24 of 32, best record in the majors during this stretch. Their starters over their last 34 games have gone 19-5, and as a staff on the year 29-15. They have the best winning percentage of all rotations in baseball. The only starter we will not see for Milwaukee in this series is Sean Markham, who's 7-2 with a 2.68.
Markham has only surrendered 69 base hits in 90 2/3 innings this year. He's been really good. Don't mind missing him.
And you'd much rather face his team at your home park than theirs. That's a strike. 3-2. They're 25-9 at home. They're 13-19 on the road, even though they have won 4 straight on the road in 8 of their last 13. Three-two pitch. Line to Weeks for the out. Castro able to get back to second. Much more Barney could do. He hit it hard, unfortunately, right at the Brewers' second baseman. Follow all of tonight's stats and info in real time with Cubs in-game live only at csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Honda.
A good effort that time by Darwin Barney. Not only worked a deep count, but ultimately hit a hard line drive to the right side. Unfortunately, right at Ricky Weeks.
Jeff Baker back in the lineup, fresh off the DL. He missed the minimum 15 days with a strained left groin. 3 games at AAA Iowa. As he rehabbed, he went 3 for 10 with a double, a triple, and an RBI. And he was red hot to start the season before he got hurt, killing lefties again, and he's had a lot of success against Randy Wolf.
And we know it doesn't always translate from batting practice into the game, but Jeff Baker had a real good round of batting practice today. A good quick swing with shooting line drives to all parts of the ballpark. Last couple rounds he hit some up into the seats. He looks like he's ready to roll.
Swing and a miss. Wolf with a big strikeout, 2 away.
One of the things you got to do is narrow your strike zone down when you come back off a rehab assignment. You've been taking a lot of extra batting practice in the cages, facing some minor league pitchers, and when you get back to the big leagues, you get guys that will attack your weaknesses. That time Baker chasing a high fastball out of the zone.
Ramirez with a 2-run homer in the first inning off Roy Oswalt yesterday. The Cubs would score 3 in that inning, and they would not get another run as the Phillies scored the final 4 runs and pull away with a 1-run victory and their 3rd straight to end that series. And as we look at tonight's lineup, Bob, you see a lot of experience right there at the top in terms of games played, and not much from a few other guys. It's kind of the way it's been. Giovanni Soto on deck. And the pitch just missed the corner. 3-2. It's about as hot as his fastball will be, 90-91 miles an hour.
Use this to describe other pitchers in the major leagues, but Randy Wolf has a lot more guts than stuff. His fastball is very average, sits in the high 80s, occasionally touch 90.
Late swing by Ramirez, kind of a swinging bunt. Wolf will fire to first in time to get Ramirez and end the inning. The Cubs go 0 for 3 with a runner in scoring position in the opening inning. 0-0. Crawley will make appearances at fairs, festivals, retailer events, community events, parades, and will be available to give fans rides from the city to the ballpark. It'll be available to rent for corporate events, weddings, birthday parties, and other private functions. There are 6 internal flat screen TVs, 2 external flat screens, PlayStation 3 video games, authentic Wrigley Field Stadium seats. So make sure you check it out next time you're on the ballpark. Complete details and info on the new Cubs trolley will be available shortly at Cubs.com. And to find out where it will next appear, follow Cubs Insider on Twitter. Here's Corey Hart. He has looked at a lot of video trying to figure out Ryan Dempster. 1 and 2, rather. 1 and 2 on Hart.
Yeah, that's definitely the case, Lynn. When you struggle against an opposing pitcher, you find that it consumes your time before a ball game, trying to figure out what you've done wrong in the past or what the pitcher has done right against you, and then try to correct it that particular night. But Corey Hart's still searching against Ryan Dempster.
It's his first game against the Cubs this season. He missed that first series, was on a DL with an oblique strain. Castro picks it up and then throws low, and LeMahieu can't handle it, and it's probably something we should have said right off the top. DJ LeMahieu is a very good athlete. He's a middle infielder by trade, but this is the first time he's ever played first base. In the pros, all the other guys on the infield, they've got to make good throws tonight.
Well, and Castro had plenty of time to make a good throw. He just spiked that one way out into the infield grass. That is a tough, long hop for a guy that hasn't played the position very much, not used to the glove. He did everything right, but come up with the baseball right here. Kept his foot on the bag, unfortunately just couldn't pick it.
Well, it's a great luxury to have a guy like Carlos Pena over at first. You just hope, and we saw this with Derek Lee, that guys on the other side of the infield don't get into bad habits because they know they're going to be bailed out. Yuniesky Betancourt has struggled, hitting just .226. First year with Milwaukee, came over in the Zach Greinke deal. That error by the Cubs are 53rd of the season. Houston starting the night with the most errors in baseball with 53. This is Jeff Baker in right. And he makes a catch.
Don't miss the action as the Cubs host the Brewers this Wednesday right here at Wrigley Field. Game time is 7:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs rally towel, compliments of Gatorade. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Will Nieves, as Bob mentioned, the backup catcher making his 16th start. He has the most at bats this season by any player without an RBI, 48 at bats. Randy Wolf handles the bat pretty well. He's on deck. 5 career home runs for Wolf.
Just watching DJ LeMahieu at first base, Len, and he would never say this because he's a young player. And if Mike Quade asked him to pitch, he'd take the ball and go out to the mound. I think this is highly unfair to start him at first base tonight. First time ever in professional baseball he's had a start at first base. He's played 11 games since being called up from the minor leagues, only once at a position he's ever played before.
They get one relay throw in time. They go around the horn, 5-4 to 3. So the error doesn't hurt Ryan Dempster. Still scoreless early. New opportunities in the Bud Light bleachers this season, including free T-shirt Mondays, $3 12-ounce draft Bud and Bud Light Tuesday nights, and $1 Vienna beef hot dog Wednesdays. Tuesday night special also available in select locations in the Seating Bowl. And for more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Randy Wolf gave up a leadoff double to Starlin Castro in the first inning, but then retired the next three without Castro advancing. And he'll face Giovanni Soto to start the Cubs second.
Well, and I want to complete that thought about DJ LeMahieu playing first base. He's been in 11 ball games since coming up from the minor leagues. That one's hit fair down the third baseline. Long throw for Casey McGee in time to get Soto. He's had one start at third base. The other ball games he's either been in as a pinch runner, a defensive replacement, or a pinch hitter. A lot of people think first base is easy. Well, what do? You stand there. When they hit the ball, you run over and stand on the bag and take the throw. But there's a lot more to that position than people realize. Bunt defense plays. There are multiple defensive plays that you're responsible for as a first baseman. Pickoffs from the pitcher, cutoff and relay position. There's a lot more to that position than people realize. And to just throw a guy over there, and I know he's been taking ground balls, but when you get out there and start actual game speed at a position that you're totally unfamiliar with, it can be a real mind trip for a young player. I know he's going to give it everything he has. I know he will never say anything about it because he just wants to be in the lineup.
1-2 on Lou Montañez, who got the start in the 3 spot on Saturday against Cliff Lee. Went 1 for 4 with an RBI in that game. Two bouncer to Betancourt. Well, you played third and first. Was first base more difficult than third?
Well, for me, absolutely.
Just because of all the things you had to do?
Yeah, for all the reasons I just mentioned. I mean, when you start from your defensive position at first base and there's a ground ball hit to anywhere else in the infield, you're running with basically you're back to the play. You don't really know what's going on behind you. You just have to get over to that bag as quickly as possible, turn around, and by the time you turn around, the ball is already in the air most of the time. Find the ball, track the flight of the ball, stretch in the right place to get out there as far as you can to get the out at first base. The bunt defense plays were just mind-boggling. When do I charge? When do I stay back? How long do I hold this runner on the base before I break for home? What if he throws over here to first base? I know we have a sign for that, but I don't know quite what it is. Just a lot of things going on over there at first base, whereas the other infield positions, certainly you have responsibilities, but not quite the same when you move from third base to first or shortstop to first. And LeMahieu much more familiar with second, third, and short, obviously, than he is at first.
Most of his action has been at second base. Also 50 games at short, 69 games at third in the minors as he strikes out in a 1-2-3 second for Randy Wolf.
Sportsnet at Coors Light Northside Baseball Viewing Party. Come by the Full Shilling at 3724 North Clark in Wrigleyville to win prizes. Enjoy Coors Light and watch the Northsiders take on New York. Be there Friday at the Full Shilling in Wrigleyville.
Two quick ones on the pitcher, Randy Wolf. He struck him out. First strikeout for Ryan Dempster tonight. Weeks doing what a good leadoff man does, and that is procrastinate. After the pitcher makes it out.
Not quite as important after the pitcher strikes out, because all he has to do is walk back to the dugout, especially if it's the first out of the inning.
Nobody could make a pitcher wait better than Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay.
Every at bat. He had a very detailed routine that he used to go through, fixing his batting gloves and adjusting everything just so, pulling up his uniform sleeves. digging the hole in the batter's box, knocking the dirt out of his cleats. It took forever between pitches. I mean, when your nickname is the human rain delay, you've earned it.
Yeah, he came by it honestly.
I guess his counterpart on the mound would be Alejandro Rain Delay Pena. It's a nice ring to it. He was similar in his approach on the mound. Took forever between pitches.
Love to see Mark Burley face Mike Hargrove. 3-2 after an 0-2 start. Here it is. Some leadoff guys are going to shorten up, maybe even choke up on the bat with 2 strikes. That is not the case with Ricky Weeks, nor, Bob, is it the case for a lot of major league hitters these days.
I mean, it used to be an embarrassment. You didn't want to strike out 100 times in a season. And because of that, guys, as you said, would shorten up, choke up on the bat a little bit, spread out in their stance a little bit, and just try to make contact, put the ball in play somewhere.
Veteran Mark Kotze on deck. Another 3-2 on the way, and this time he got him.
Not so sure that slider was ever in the strike zone. Starts down near the knees, breaks down and away, ends up out of the zone, well off the plate.
The sausages are here. Although they're on a rooftop right now, they better try to avoid the grill.
Yeah, I was thinking that's where the grills are located, on the rooftops. Yeah, come on in, guys. Yeah, take off your shirt. We've got a seat for you right here.
A 1-0 to Mark Kotze, a swing and a miss, 1-1. Bernie Brewer made the trip as well.
Somebody has to chaperone the cased meats. I find it hard to believe that Bernie Brewer would be the designated driver. Guy goes down a sliding board into a mug of beer. I need a bigger grill.
The Marlins teammates, Dempster and Kotze. Montañez, Castro, and Ramirez come over, but no plays. Back to the seats. By the way, we mentioned Kerry Wood on the disabled list. So to kind of fill that void, Jeff Samardzija will likely get more responsibility later in the games, and Rodrigo Lopez as well. Another foul by Kotze. In terms of how long it'll take that blister to heal, I mean, hopefully with the DL stint being retroactive, Kerry will be ready to go, I think, by the time we get to Kansas City. But as Mike Quaddy said before the game, we found a way to put people on the moon, and we haven't been able to figure out a cure for finger blisters. Just one of those mercurial types of injuries. Dempster strikes out the side. White Sox or Cardinals series at Wrigley. Cubs Destinations has spots available for these highly anticipated matchups. All standard packages include great tickets, first-class hotel accommodations, a special Cubs gift bag, a tour of the ballpark, and a private meet and greet with a current Cubs player. For more information, visit Cubs.com. Tony Campana hitting 8th in the Cubs lineup tonight. And playing center field. This is his 10th start in center. 1-1 on the way, and that one's smacked foul on the left field line.
And as you can imagine, as Tony Campana took his batting practice today, hitting coach Rudy Jaramillo hanging on the back of that cage, reminding him over and over again, stay on top of the ball, stay on top of the ball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Randy Wolf, after the leadoff double by Starlin Castro in the first inning, has retired 7 in a row.
And because Campana's main asset is his speed, if he hits the ball on the ground, he can be dangerous. And most opposing pitchers throw him a lot of high fastballs. Very important he lay off that pitch if it's up out of the strike zone.
Strike on Ryan Dempster. Hey, partner, I wanted to ask you, just was looking at your baseball reference page.
Ugly, isn't it?
No, it's not. Over 700 games behind the plate, 72 at first, 68 at third, but you also played 15 innings in the outfield. How did you like playing the outfield? And that had to be a very bizarre vantage point for a career catcher. And then the rest of your outings on the infield, diving stop, Betancourt. Oh, he got him. Looked like Alfonso Marquez was going to say safe, but then he said out. That is a fantastic play by Betancourt. And no argument from Ryan Dempster.
A nice diving stop by Betancourt. Quickly gets to his feet. He's got a cannon for a throwing arm, and he needed every bit of it here if indeed he did get Ryan Dempster at first. Oh, what is that? Half safe, half out.
Thought I was seeing things, but I guess not.
Prince wasn't even sure over there at first base, and the first baseman is usually the guy that knows the best. He can feel when a runner makes contact with that base, and certainly he knows when the ball enters his glove. Even Fielder waited an extra tick before throwing that ball around the horn.
High fastball for a strike.
Outfield was weird. I mean, fortunately, most of the games I played in the outfield were very early on in my career, and when I came up from AAA, I had played quite a bit of outfield, so it wasn't totally strange. But when you're used to catching and being involved in every pitch of the ball game, and then find yourself standing 320 feet from home plate, and you might not get a ball hit to you all night, it was a mental challenge just to stay in the game.
You never got in there at shortstop, though, did you?
Not in the big leagues. I did in AAA, though. I played some short in AAA, which was a hoot.
Yank foul. You stayed pretty busy at short.
Well, yeah, and just like I was talking about first base, a lot of responsibilities. Well, you can imagine at shortstop all the different responsibilities you have on stolen base attempts, on double plays, cutoffs and relays, all the bunt defense plays. On some you break to the bag at second, others you break to the bag at third. Starlin Castro stays hot, singles into center field with 2 outs here in the inning. I think that's why I'm always partial to those utility guys that can play multiple positions. I'd like to think that I didn't hurt the team too badly everywhere other than third base, but that's what got me to the big leagues, and I know a lot of guys that's the same route they take, playing multiple positions, trying to increase their value with an organization. You don't have to carry an extra middle infielder or an extra corner outfielder on the roster if you have one guy who can do both.
Barney lined out in his first at bat. A couple of West Coast guys matching up. Barney from Oregon, Randy Wolf from Southern California.
One guy never saw the sun, the other one never saw a cloud.
And you got Castro. Well, they don't. Nobody covering second base, so Fielder did the right thing. He didn't make a throw. That'll be a steal for Castro.
It looked like Betancourt was the one that was late getting to the bag at second base. Ricky Weeks was kind of in the vicinity, but you could see him shorten up as he got closer to the bag. I think that's because he was anticipating Betancourt covering the bag.
That's a veteran pitcher right there. Barney went just a little bit out of the strike zone on the 1-1 pitch and missed it. So Wolf decided to push the ball a little bit further out of the strike zone and see if Barney would go after that one. And he got him on a heater to end the inning. 2 hits for the Cubs, both by Castro, but he's been stranded at second twice.
From Taco Bell, open 1 a.m. or later.
Let's sneak in our AT&T trivia question as we get set to start the fourth. Can you name the Milwaukee Brewer who won the American League Rookie of the Year honor in 1992? I can tell you who finished second. Kenny Lofton of the Cleveland Indians.
Doesn't really help much.
I remember I was there watching every day. Let's put it this way. Lofton went to the University of Arizona. The guy who won went to the other big university in the state of Arizona.
Well, for once I know this one.
2-1 on Ryan Braun. Ryan Braun edged out Troy Tulowitzki to win the Rookie of the Year in the NL in 2007. Breaks his bat as he bounces to Ramirez, and Ramos throws him out.
Backs up a little bit to take that grounder on the big hop. Super slow motion on that throw across the diamond to DJ LeMahieu. Stretches out, no problems that time.
You could fill up a book of interesting numbers on Prince Fielder in terms of what he's done this year. You mentioned at the Open, 8 homers over his last 10 games. 6 of those home runs were go-ahead shots. The other 2 only tied the game, so they weren't that big.
Yeah.
Cued foul. Hit the game winner yesterday versus St. Louis. And these two guys both will hit the free agent market after the season. Fielder and Pujols. Fielder leads the league in RBIs and extra base hits. Not quite sure if he'll pass Robin Yount as the Brewers' all-time home run leader. He's 40 behind. I guess best chance he has to get that record is to re-sign, unless he can hit 40 here in the next 3.5 months.
Not out of the question for the big guy, but I think that's the least of his worries right now. Certainly would be a nice feather in his cap to be the franchise leader in homers, but he's going to be the franchise leader in dough.
4 strikeouts for Dempster over the last 5 batters.
I just beat him to the spot that time with a 91-mile-an-hour heater elevated up near the top of the strike zone, and Fielder is late.
McGee lined to right with 2 on in the first inning. And he muscles that one out into left center for a base hit.
Oh, what a goofy game. His first at bat, he hit a rocket line drive to right field, right on the barrel of the bat for an out. This time he breaks his bat and hits a little floater into left field for a base hit.
By the way, we are missing an umpire. Right now only 3 umpires on the field. Corey Hart high and deep. Campana going back. And again, the wind blowing in tonight. Northeast at just 4 miles an hour, but not going to help a fly ball like that. 2 out single, no runs. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 0-0. Grounds crew manicuring the infield dirt in between innings. As we get the answer to our AT&T trivia question. 1992 American League Rookie of the Year with the Milwaukee Brewers. He was their shortstop. Pat Listash, what a year it was. Switch hitter. 149 games, 54 stolen bases. He had 290 that season.
Scored 93 runs.
24 years old. And again, he beat out Kenny Lofton, center fielder with Cleveland, who stole 66 that season, hit 285. Baker swings and misses. Jeff hitting .500 against lefties. There's Pat, Cubs bench coach. Lined, and Braun will slide and make the grab for the out.
Hooking, sinking line drive out to left field. Ryan Braun goes into a slide, able to catch that ball about waist high. Good solid contact from Jeff Baker on that line drive.
Swing and a miss by Ramirez. And pulled to deep left. Braun back. On the track, he's got it. Right up against the vines. As Ramirez just missed one.
Just enough wind blowing straight in from center field to keep that ball out of the basket. Braun with one last look back at the ivy, using that right hand to reach out there and tell where he is on the field, but comes up just a little bit short.
Soto with 2 outs. Curveball missed for ball 1. Not on the field at the moment is Ed Rapuano, who started the night at third base, crew chief. Not sure when actually he left, but we are pretty sure all 4 umpires were at home plate right before the game started. So we hope Ed's okay. Working right now with a 3-man crew. So you've got Ed Hickox, the second base umpire, right now down the third base line. Alfonso Marquez over at first, and Brian O'Nora behind the plate. Pulled into left for a base hit.
And the umpires are accustomed to working a 3-man crew. You think back to the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League, most of the games are worked with 3 umpires. The rotations are a little different, the responsibilities are a little different, but they've done this many times in the past. And if you ever come out here to Wrigley Field or go to any ballpark for that matter, and the game swings out of control one direction or the other, keep an eye on the umpires one time. They're in constant communication with each other depending on the count, depending on how many outs in the inning, where the runners are on base. They have hand signs that they'll give to each other to let the other umpires know where I'm going if the ball's hit this direction or that direction.
Busy inning for Ryan Braun as Montañez flies out. 2-out single, but again, no runs. 2 veteran starters on their game tonight.
free. If you're the 500th texter, you could win 5 $5 footlong subs from Subway.
Well, first things first, this is game 1 of a 4-game set against the Brewers, but a lot of people around these parts talking about the arrival of the New York Yankees to Wrigley for the first time since 2003, and Derek Jeter entered tonight's game against Cleveland 7 hits shy of 3,000. He's 1 for 3. The Yankees trail 1-0 in the bottom of the 7th. He'll probably get 1 if not 2 more at bats. In fact, right now he is in the on deck circle with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. 6 hits away from 3,000. Yankees will play every day this week. And there's your upcoming schedule. Comcast Sportsnet tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and Friday afternoon, the Yanks and the Cubs. See, the Yankees host Texas starting tomorrow night. Well, you know, Derek would like to get to 3,000 while still at home, but Wrigley Field wouldn't be a bad place for him, would it?
I think it'd be a great place.
Yeah, I agree. Stan Musial is the only player to pick up his 3,000th in this ballpark.
Provided he gets his 3,000th hit in a losing effort for the Yankees.
How about Friday afternoon? He leads off the game with his 3,000th hit, and the Cubs beat the Yankees 10-1. The 1-2 to Betancourt. He hammers that one to left, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Picked up by Montañez, and it's a leadoff double for the number 7 hitter.
There is not an area that Betancourt won't swing at. That pitch is up around his shoulders. He just tomahawks it down into that left field corner. He'll chase pitches in the dirt. He'll chase pitches in and out. Very much the definition of a free swinger, but that time squared it up and ends up at second base with a leadoff double.
Well, I noticed Derek Jeter out of the game. Eduardo Nunez brought on as a pinch hitter at the bottom of the 7th. We'll get to the bottom of that. And they're down 1-0. It's not like it's 12-1. Calf injury, according to MLB's Twitter account. A calf injury for Derek Jeter. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed. 1-1. It fouled into the upper deck. Pitching matchups for the rest of this series. Giovanni Gallardo and Randy Wells tomorrow night. Left-hander Chris Narveson versus Carlos Zambrano on Wednesday. And Zach Greinke and Matt Garza on Thursday. Here comes a 1-2. Just got a piece of it. We mentioned Nieves still without an RBI, but pretty good opportunity here with a runner at second and nobody out. Betancourt started the inning with a double. A tapper, and that'll move up the runner to third. Was not an intentional sacrifice situation, but that's how it played out.
Yeah, it works like a swinging bunt, little chopper out in front of home plate. Unfortunately not hit hard enough to carry out to Ryan Dempster, just far enough away from Giovanni Soto that the only play the Cubs have is to go on to first base for the sure out. Dangerous at bat right here. Randy Wolf not swinging the bat up to his normal levels this season. He was a .247 hitter last year for the Brewers. Hitting .120 this season. Very good bunter. Makes contact most of the time. The Cubs will be forced to bring their infield in.
Fastball high. Mentioned Dempster almost scratched just before his last start. Had some hip tightness. Fortunately, it loosened up in time. He put together an excellent outing. 6 innings, 1 run. As the Cubs snap their 8-game losing streak. Trying to play stopper again tonight as the Cubs have dropped 3 in a row. Three and 0 on Randy Wolf. I think the light here for Randy Wolf will be as red can get.
Maybe twice. Yeah, Ron Renicky may have him take 2 strikes in this particular situation. We'll see what happens on the 3-1 pitch, but in this situation there have been times, Len, when we've said it's not the worst thing that can happen to walk this guy. It sets up a potential double play. Dempster gets the benefit of the doubt on a borderline pitch there, but that's not the case with Ricky Weeks in the on-deck
squeeze
circle.
And he missed it, and they're going to get Betancourt. Maybe. Ooh, bad throw there. Castro, throw to Barney, and Soto gets him. Boy, just about everybody became a part of that pickle. You had all 9 Cubs almost between home and third. Randy Wolf on the suicide squeeze could not make contact.
It looked like a buntable pitch. What a horribly botched rundown. Fortunately for the Cubs, they end up getting the out. Man, oh man. If that was a spring training drill, you'd stop in the middle and say, do it again.
Caught stealing 2-5-1-6-4-2, and that's fair for Randy Wolf. So a big break for the Cubs. Of course, we don't know he would have done that if Betancourt had still been at third base. As it is, he's standing at second, and he's shaking his head. He's not happy. Just hit a double, and he's upset he didn't make contact on the squeeze. Now Ricky Weeks, 2 doubles in the inning, but the Brewers have still been kept off the board. Ricky Weeks' younger brother Jamile recently called up to the majors by the Oakland A's, also a second baseman. He's hitting .333, 7 for 21 with a double and 2 triples. The A's were here over the weekend playing the White Sox, and the Brewers here playing the Cubs. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
I don't know if Oakland and Brewers stay at the same team hotel here in Chicago, but it's possible that both Weeks brothers checked into the same room at the same hotel a few days apart.
As opposed to weeks apart.
Ooh.
Three and two. Kotze on deck. Here it is. And LeMahieu knocks it down. Nicely done by DJ LeMahieu as Weeks hit that ball very hard. And LeMahieu in his first career game at first base makes a nice play. Rapuano left this game in the second inning. And we just saw the Cubs head athletic trainer Mark O'Neill come out and talk to Brian O'Nora. You see on the left of your screen. Rapuano heading down into the tunnel, and we sure hope he's all right. It appeared as though Mark was giving Brian O'Nora an update on Rapuano.
Ed Rapuano, one of the most highly respected and best umpires in the game. We certainly hope he's okay.
Thanks, guys. DJ LeMahieu made a nice play to win the top of this fifth inning. Takes a strike from Randy Wolf. Good catch by our crew. This is no disrespect to the umpires. I think they would probably tell you it's good when this happens, but I didn't notice for an inning or so that there were only 3 and not 4 umpires, and I think the umpires prefer it that way. They'd rather not be noticed. At least most of them just do their job. They're kind of like offensive linemen in football. Campana struck out swinging his first time. McGee in. Everybody else in at least a couple of steps around the infield. The word is out on Campana in terms of his wheels.
It doesn't take long. 1 ground out. And advanced scouts will make notes on their scorecards and on their advance reports that they send to the various teams that this guy can fly. Don't stay out of the air, though. Mentioned in his previous at bat in this ball game, hitting coach Rudy Jaramillo telling him to stay on top of the ball. You want Tony Campana to hit the ball on the ground. Even when he hits ground balls at infielders, they have to do everything perfectly to get him out at first base.
Slider strike. And it's 1-2. Randy Wolf's pitches, Bob, in terms of the movement and what they look like coming out of his hand, remind me of Ted Lilly. And similar velocity. I mean, that's a Ted Lilly curveball right there. And as he gets Campana.
Ted a little slower with his delivery itself.
Yes.
Ted with a very, very slow windup, but yeah, you're right as far as the stuff goes.
Same exact pitches, really.
12-6 curveball.
Mr. bounces foul.
Time to take a look at our Coors Light freeze cam. Back in that 3rd inning, Ryan Dempster with a ground ball. A great play by Betancourt at shortstop. He threw on to first. A little indecision on the part of the first base umpire, Alfonso Marquez. Looked like he was going to call Dempster safe, then stopped in mid-call and rang him up.
And Wolf rings up Ryan Dempster, strikes him out for his 6th of the night. Brewers nothing, Cubs nothing after 5 from Wrigley. AMC Sportsnet Central. Coming up tonight after post-game live coverage of the Mavs' arrival in Dallas. Also a unique way to get to Wrigley Field. Join Kip and Chuck for GMC Sportsnet Central tonight after post-game live. Only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Beautiful skies above Wrigley Field and the north side of Chicago as we have hit dusk on this June 13th evening. Mark Kotze takes an outside corner pitch for a strike. We're in the 6th inning, no score. Cool temperatures, upper 60s, maybe now down into the low or upper 50s. Missed a splitter, 0-2. Wow.
It is beautiful. If I had an expansion team in Major League Baseball, that would be my uniform colors right there.
I don't even know what that color is.
I don't
kind
either.
Of a lavender.
I don't know if you could reproduce it, but
Fuchsia.
man, is it pretty.
Yeah. Thinking fuchsia and periwinkle would be good colors for your team. Kotze swung and missed.
Periwinkle, didn't he play for the Brewers?
He might have, yeah. Now, would you like to hear the stories about legendary Wrigley Field from the players who lived them firsthand? Now you have the chance. Take a tour led by former Cub greats like Billy Williams, Fergie Jenkins, Doug Glanville, or Ernie Banks. For more info or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Braun lifts one to Montañez. Just like that, 2 gone. It'll bring up Prince Fielder, who has been intentionally walked and struck out. That was a great line by Mike Quaddy. We could put a person on the moon, but we still haven't figured out how to avoid blisters.
And the Cubs have tried, and Kerry Wood has tried. I mean, I know from past experiences with pitchers, some guys are just more susceptible to getting blisters on the tips of their index or middle finger. It's the friction of that baseball coming off that fingertip time after time after time. We tried super gluing a guy's finger. Obviously, being a pitcher, you're not allowed to wear any kind of covering on your throwing hand out there on the mound, so any kind of a Band-Aid or tape is out of the question. Not to mention the fact the pitcher wouldn't have much feel for the ball if he was wearing a Band-Aid on the tip of his finger.
For Kerry, it's a 15th career DL stint. And again, hopefully won't miss more than the minimum. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a fastball. And Dempster goes 1-2-3. Getting through that 6th has been key for this Cubs team here in 2011. Beautiful night. No score.
in the batting cages or just relax in the dugouts of Wrigley Field on Saturday, June 25th. Limited tickets are available for $150 each and include a t-shirt, a photograph, a baseball, and lunch. All proceeds benefit Chicago Cubs charities. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
The Cubs have 3 hits, 2 of them courtesy of Starlin Castro, who's in the leadoff spot tonight. Inside corner, 1-1. Bottom 6. 0-0. And driven deep to left. Braun back on this one, and he'll get it on the warning track.
It sounded good coming off the bat of Starlin Castro. Got a pitch on the inside part of the plate. Just dropped the barrel of the bat on the ball. Unfortunately, once again, got out to the warning track and just died in the glove of Ryan Braun.
I alluded to the 6-inning marker. Significant for the Cubs this season as Wolf works to Darwin Barney. It's not so much how many games the Cubs win when a starter goes 6, but how many they've lost when the starter does not. Cubs are 16-14 when the starting pitcher gets through at least 6 innings, so that gives you a fighting chance. But they're 9-25 when the starter doesn't complete 6. That's way too many starts. Less than 6 innings. But having said all that, Bob, as good as Dempster's been, the Cubs aren't ahead right now because Randy Wolf's been just as good.
You know, and I think in the case of the Cubs, more so than ineffectiveness, it's been a case of pitch counts getting elevated so quickly in the ball game that a lot of the Cubs starters are at the 100-pitch mark in the 4th or 5th inning, and Mike Quade doesn't want to extend them much beyond that. Yeah, certainly there have been a few starts where the starter just wasn't very good early in the ball game, and Mike's had to go into the bullpen, but a lot of times it's based on pitch counts.
This is as good as we've seen Ryan Dempster all year, and against a hot Milwaukee club. Still 2-2 to Darwin Barney. Most trouble he was in was a runner 3rd, 1 out in the 5th inning, and it was the unsuccessful suicide squeeze by Randy Wolf. He got him on the inside edge for strike 3. It's 7 now for Wolf. Watch Comcast Sportsnet game replays on demand with Xfinity TV from Comcast. Don't miss the action. Call 1-800-XFINITY today. One game has gone final. The Pirates beat the Mets 3-1. PNC tonight. Will Nieves got to the spot. There's we determined it's a nook, not a cranny, but a nook right next to both dugouts, and that ball actually landed on the field.
Actually had enough room to maybe take another step or 2 in that little notch or nook. But understandable why a visiting player would have trouble maneuvering in that particular area.
So new life for Baker's swing and a miss. Paul Maholm over Mike Pelfrey tonight. Pirates within a game of 500 at 32-33. Brian O'Nora has an interesting ball call. He will turn, and the entire defensive alignment of the Brewers thought he was turning to go strike three. Right there, and he didn't. And he just did it again.
Well, and he's been doing it since the beginning of the game. He's been doing it ever since I've known him.
Yeah.
It's one of those idiosyncrasies that umpires have.
Little floater will drop for a base hit. Here comes Ramirez, who fly deep to the warning track and left his last time up. He's homered in 2 of his last 5 games. The pitch by Wolf almost hit him. Arizona all over the Marlins, 12-7. They're in the top of the 6th. They led 9-0 at one point. Florida has dropped 10 of 11. Each team with 13 hits in that game. And the Diamondbacks with 12 runs, no home runs. Check that. 1 home run. It was Zach Duke, the pitcher, who hit his 2nd home run of the year.
That game's in Florida, right?
It is.
Zach Duke, a left-handed hitter. I wonder if he pulled it to right field. That's a tough place to hit a home run.
I'll get you the answer to that. Line drive to right field.
How about that?
2-run homer in the 3rd inning. The irony is Micah Owings is pitching currently for the Diamondbacks, and he did not hit the home run. It was Zach Duke, the starter. A fly to right, carrying pretty well, but again, just a warning track shot as Corey Hart hauls it in. Randy Wolf, I guess, pitching to the conditions tonight with the wind blowing in. Still scoreless. Located inside Harry Carey's Tavern at Navy Pier to see a rotating collection of unique memorabilia, including Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game ball, Dave Kingman's batting crown, and Ron Santos' All-Star ring. For more info, visit chicagosportsmuseum.org. Former Cubs pitcher Milt Pappas will conduct the 7th inning stretch tonight. One strike on former Cub Casey McGee. Now 1-1. We want to give another plug for the Dempster Foundation. Its second annual Casino Night fundraiser, which will be on Wednesday, July 20th at the Palmer House to benefit the Ryan and Jenny Dempster Family Foundation. Special night will help strike out 22Q. You can go to DempsterFamilyFoundation.org for more information on tickets, VIP tickets, and much more. So it's Casino Night, DempsterFamilyFoundation.org, the website, and we hope to see you there. Three and 2 to McGee. Well, Atlanta going into Houston with a 6-game winning streak, and the Astros having lost 8 of 9, but it's Houston leading 3-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Starlin Castro throws to DJ LeMahieu. One away. Hunter Pence with a home run in that one. Corey Hart with a 3-homer game earlier this year against the Washington Nationals. That was on May 23rd. He knocked in 7 runs. The 3 homers and 7 RBIs tied single game franchise records.
Wasn't it his first game off the disabled list, or maybe the second or third game? Very shortly after coming off the DL, I think.
He came off on the 26th of April, so it was a few weeks after.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was right after he came off the disabled list.
I'll have to look, but I think he hit 2, maybe in the game off the DL. Slider just missed, and it's 2-2. Well, Dempster's been around the plate all night. He's worked some 3-ball counts, but the only walk was an intentional walk at Prince Fielder after he got behind him. Swing and a miss. Actually, the 3-homer game was his 22nd game of the year, and he didn't have any before that. So I was with you. I thought he had a big game
It
too.
seemed like he did.
Yeah. The Brenly Bombers, Fuchsia and Periwinkle.
We're really good on Easter.
Betancourt bounces to Castro. And it's time for the stretch with Milt Pappas.
Cubs great Milt Pappas.
Cub fans, Mike Quaddy, Chicago Cubs, we're behind you 110%. But you people, the Chicago Cub fans, are the greatest fans in the world. Made my stay here a lot better and a lot nicer. I love you guys. Gary, a 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with a crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back for its root. Root for the. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Thank you for the memories.
Giovanni Soto leading off the bottom of the 7th against Randy Wolf. Milt Pappas with us here in the booth. Always a pleasure to talk with a former Cub great who won over 200 games in the big leagues in 17 seasons. Soto gets under it, and Mark Kotze will come in and make the grab. Milt, how are you?
I'm fine, Len. Bob, it's great to be here. Good to see you guys again. And you know, it's just nice to be out at the old ballpark and looking at everything nice and green. And, you know, you got a heck of a pitcher's battle going on tonight, and it's just nice to be out. It really is, and I enjoy being out. The fans, like I said, are the greatest, and they're behind this team 110%. Even though right now, a few wins would help everything, of course.
Pitch is low. Randy Wolf, actually, there's an interesting connection. He was working with the Houston Astros and pitching against the Cubs in Milwaukee as Lou Montañez singles back up the middle for a base hit. Back in 2008, Carlos Zambrano threw the no-hitter that night against the Astros, and it was the first Cubs no-no since yours back in 1972. And Milt, we asked Z after the game, do you remember who pitched the last Cubs no-hitter? And he knew it was you.
Right away, he knew it was
right
you.
Away.
Yeah.
Well, I've been touting him. I said if somebody's going to throw a no-hitter on the Cubs team, it's going to be Carlos Zambrano. But I still have the distinction of the last one at Wrigley Field. So that hasn't been taken away from me yet.
And LeMahieu with a base hit, back-to-back, as Montañez will stop at second. Not only do you have the last no-hitter in his ballpark, but the Cubs haven't been no-hit since 1965, which is interesting.
65?
Yes, that was the perfect game by Sandy Koufax.
Oh, wow.
In L.A.
Well, should have been a perfect game, but Mr. Bruce Fleming messed that up for me. Should have been a perfect game.
They gave you 8. You only needed 1 that day.
Isn't that something, you know, and you think, hey, you know, you're playing at home, you got an 8-0 lead, man. What do you got to lose by calling a strike? Could never figure that out. But, you know, I won 209 games, and the only game it seems like everybody remembers is that game. So the other 208 didn't mean anything.
Oh, they counted. They counted to your teammates. You know that.
You bet.
You also hit, I believe, 20 home runs, didn't you?
Yeah, I happened to be swinging where they were throwing. Oh, nah.
It's not where Tony wants to hit it, as Kotze will make the catch, and Ryan Dempster will head back.
Had an interesting game against Minnesota. Pedro Ramos, who was a pretty darn good hitter. I was pitching against each other on a Sunday afternoon, and the day before, I said, hey, how about tomorrow you and me throw each other fastballs? And his eyes lit up like a balloon. Oh, yes. You know, the stuttered English, you know, that, oh, yeah, I love it. Yeah, we do that. First time I was up, threw me a fastball. I hit it out. I hit a home run. I'm beating him 1-0. He came up and hit a line drive to left field. Center fielder made a good play. Second time up, I'm bunting. Why, I don't know. I'm sacrificing. He comes up the second time, hits a shot to right center field. Again, the center fielder makes a great catch. I'm up for the third time, and there's somebody warming up in the seventh inning. He's down 1-0. First pitch, fastball, I fouled it off. Second pitch, a curveball, and I just stepped back and I just glared at him. I said, "You no good." And he gives me this no habla inglés. All of a sudden, he doesn't know how to speak English. Next pitch, he threw me a hanging curveball, and I hit it out again, and I beat him 2-0. I don't know what he said to me going around the bases. You know, I'm not Spanish, but if it was Greek, I would have understood. Oh, nah.
Blake DeWitt,
Come on.
pinch hitter, on the first pitch flies out to Corey Hart.
But I'm still with Prime Source. Been with him for 23 years. So we need wins, my friend. That cures a lot of ills.
Yeah, come on out to Wrigley Field. Milt, part of the Alumni Guided Tours, and always great to see you, sir.
Len, thank you, my friend.
No score after 7.
Bob,
Thanks.
good seeing you, my friend.
Okay. Defense, DJ LeMahieu with his first career start, his first professional start at first base, corralled that shot off the bat of Ricky Weeks. Was able to knock it down, stay with it, and hustle to the bag to take the out himself.
Well, if this were an American League game with a DH, Ryan Dempster would no doubt be back out there. He was in the on-deck circle, but with 2 on. You got to score to win. And Mike Quaddy took him out for Blake DeWitt, who flied out. And it'll be Jeff Samardzija against the pinch hitter Craig Counsell, who's going to bat for Will Nieves. Jonathan Lucroy will hit for the pitcher Randy Wolf. Ball 1.
Counsell very limited playing time this year. You see his career pinch hit numbers, 4 for 19 this season for the Brewers coming off the bench.
By the way, 773-404-4734, or you can go to Cubs.com for more info on the Wrigley Field Alumni Guided Tours. Bill Pappas, one of the former Cubs who occasionally guides those tours. We saw him out here on the last homestand, in fact. Right-hander Cameron Lowe is up for Milwaukee. John Grabo up just in case here in the 8th inning. The 2-1 pitch is Counsell, kind of a half swing, and he grounds right to Ramirez, who throws him out. Pledge your allegiance to the Cubs by becoming a member of the Cubs Club. the official fan club of the Chicago Cubs. This year's Cubs Club features a new Bleacher Crew tier and an improved Marquee tier. Members will enjoy exclusive perks, experiences, and merchandise throughout the 2011 season. There's never been a better time to join, rejoin, or give a fellow Cubs fan the gift of a Cubs Club membership. To join today, visit Cubs.com. Lucroy will bat for Wolf and stay in as a catcher after Nieves was lifted for Counsell. And he takes a strike. Lucroy celebrating his 25th birthday today. He came off the DL the day after the Cubs left Milwaukee in April. Started the year on the shelf with a fractured right pinky finger, missed the first 10 games. By the way, MLB has announced that Ed Rapuano left the game earlier with a non-emergency medical condition. Again, we hope Ed's feeling better, but he left in the second inning. And we've had a three-man crew since.
If they felt like they needed a fourth, I'm sure Milt Pappas would volunteer to go down and umpire a few innings.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the kind of numbers that will endear you to the home fans.
Everywhere you go, not only Milwaukee, but if you hit the low 200s, so home fans for other teams. Cleveland held on and beat the Yankees 1-0. We mentioned Derek Jeter left early due to a calf injury. Carlos Carrasco beat A.J. Burnett in that one. Asdrubal Cabrera with a fourth inning RBI single as Lucroy strikes out. That was the only run in that game.
Well, you mentioned it before, Len. With Kerry Wood on the shelf, Jeff Samardzija is going to take a more prominent role in that bullpen until Woody comes back. He's going to find himself pitching in a lot of tight ball games late.
Indians started the night tied with Detroit for first in the AL Central. Tampa Bay and Detroit in a makeup game, 1-1 in the ninth at Comerica. And it'll be the Indians and Tigers starting a series tomorrow night. And that'll be in Detroit. One and 0 on Ricky Weeks. The pitch right down Main Street at 95. The closer is up. Cubs have hit the ball to the deep part of the park more often than the Brewers have. The Cubs with, I can think of 3 warning track shots. A couple by Aramis Ramirez. Starlin Castro hit one in the 6th inning. Barney charges in the throw in plenty of time. as Samardzija works a 1-2-3. Top of the 8th, bottom 8 coming up. Cameron Lowe heading in. Top of the order now for the Cubs. Big right-hander Cameron Lowe to Starlin Castro. Betancourt gets him. We mentioned Lucroy stays in and catches. Big Cameron Lowe now on the mound. 6'8", 240. His ERA was crushed as he gave up 5 runs in 2/3 of an inning back 5 days ago against the Mets. Actually, he's had 3 outings in which he's allowed at least 3 runs, and for a short reliever, that will kill your ERA.
Kind of an oddity in the fact that he features a heavy sinking fastball in the upper 80s, low 90s, and a curveball. Usually when a guy throws a sinker, he complements it with a slider. But Lowe throws a lot of heavy sinking fastballs and a big curveball, an occasional changeup, an occasional slider, but basically just going to use those 2 pitches, pitching in short relief.
Here comes a 1-1 to Barney. He fights it off and dribbles it foul toward Ivan De Jesus. Paid crowd tonight here at Clark and Addison, 39,070. Just underway in LA. The Reds and the Dodgers. Bronson Arroyo against Hiroki Kuroda in that one.
Hey, Lynn, congratulations to the Daytona Cubs. They beat the Clearwater Threshers tonight, 8-6 to clinch the first half in the Florida State League Northern Division, guaranteed a spot in the playoffs at the end of the season.
Very nice. What a year they've had. So they're 45-19.
Wow.
with that win. Barney shoots one past Betancourt and into left. Next week, round one of the Crosstown Classic is on Comcast Sportsnet. White Sox slugger Frank Thomas joins pregame live. Cubs GM Jim Hendry, Chairman Tom Ricketts will join us in the booth. Best coverage of the Crosstown Classic is on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. I think pretty soon we'll say Hall of Fame White Sox slugger Frank Thomas. Is there any doubt?
Not in my mind.
Carlos Pena is going to bat for Jeff Baker.
Pena 2 for 5 lifetime against the Brewers right-hander Cameron Lowe coming off the bench here.
And a good time to do it, Bob. Zach Braddock. A guy, no doubt Ron Renicky wants to keep in mind to face Carlos Pena, who struggled against lefties, but there's nobody up in the bullpen, so Mike Quade knew he could insert Pena and not have to worry about a lefty in this spot. They overshift on the infield to the pull side. Ball one to Pena.
It's kind of surprising that Renicky did not have Braddock up in the bullpen, knowing that Mike Quade had not only Carlos Pena but Kosuke Fukudome and Tyler Colvin available from the left side of the plate. No right-handed pinch hitters available tonight other than Coy Hill, the switch hitter.
Fly ball, well hit, left field. Braun back near the well. Can't make the catch. Barney makes a turn. He's going to head to third. The throw there. Not in time. Second and third with one out.
That ball was absolutely crushed to left field in that well area. The wind continues to blow in from center field. Braun got a little turned around at that area of the wall where the well is. Barney was going back thinking that Braun was going to make the play. Had to reverse engines, turn the corner at second, and into third base on his belly. I thought that one had a chance, Len. It was hit right at that area, right where the stands jut out a little bit. We call it the well area out there in left field. It looked like that deep fly ball was headed right for that area, but the wind pushed it over a little further. Braun had trouble running it down. Second and third, one out.
Finally a ball not caught on the warning track. Infield in for the Brewers. Cub fans getting into it. Here's a pitch to Ramirez. A strike. Sinking fastball in there. 0-1. Cubs might only need one tonight. Now they're going to overshift as the ball got out of the bullpen, and the home plate umpire Brian O'Nora just saw it out of the corner of his eye. They're overshifting to the left side. You've got Ricky Weeks playing right behind the mound. You've got Fielder way off of first base. Low with an 0-1. Bounce to Weeks. Throw goes to the plate. Safe! He got in! And the Cubs lead 1-0. The Brewers aligned totally appropriately, but Darwin Barney's speed beat that throw by Ricky Weeks.
A creative defensive alignment by Ron Renicky, but aggressive heads-up base running by Darwin Barney was off on contact on the head first slide, able to get in underneath the tag of Lucroy. Boy, just did get his hand down on the plate as Lucroy applied the tag on the back of Darwin Barney.
Pena did not advance, so he's still at second. One strike on Giovanni Soto. Swing and a miss, 0-2. RBI fielder's choice for Ramos Ramirez. And the 0-2 to Soto, called strike 3 for the second out. Carlos Marmol in the ninth. And due up for Milwaukee, Kotze, Braun, and Fielder. Piece of cake. On to Montañez, in on the hands, and he grounds to Fielder, and Fielder will just beat into the bag to end the inning. But the Cubs get the lead, the first run of the night, and we'll head to the ninth inning with the Cubs leading 1-0.
Xfinity high-speed action, and it was high speed. Little comeback ground ball past the mound to Ricky Weeks. His throw to home plate just a tick late, and Darwin Barney, great anticipation, went on contact, able to get in underneath the tag at home plate to score the game's only run up to this point.
Pena stays in and plays first. Fukudome into play right. And the closer, Carlos Marmol, is in, facing Mark Kotze. Here we go. Called strike, good start. Kotze with 2 plate appearances, a walk and a strikeout against Marmol. Ryan Braun, 2 for 12. Prince Fielder, 3 for 17 with a home run. Pitchers of record right now, Samardzija and Lowe. Swing and a miss on a slider. 1 away.
Really odd how this game works, Len. That was the worst slider that Marmol threw in that sequence. That ball is right in the middle of the plate and elevated, but Kotze cannot make contact. All sliders that at bat. Strike 3 to Kotze.
Gets a little tougher here with Braun and Fielder, although as we mentioned, Marmol has dominated both in his career. Fastball in there to Braun. And with the wind blowing in, go right at him. Marmol's just going to do what he does. Generally keeps the ball in the ballpark. Oh, 0-2 to Braun.
That might be a first, Len. I don't think we've ever seen Carlos Marmol throw 3 fastballs in a row, ever. But he's done it here to Ryan Braun. Jumped ahead in the count 0-2 with 2 low 90s fastballs. Challenged him with 1 more. That time Braun able just to get a piece and foul it off. Slider this time. Ooh. Backup slider. Didn't take the break whatsoever. This pitch is designed to slide out away from Ryan Braun. It just kind of spun up there in the middle of the plate. He's still not able to make solid contact.
We're throwing that slider really hard tonight. 86, 87 miles an hour. Comes another one. Well, he's controlled his fastball better than his slider so far in this inning.
He's definitely been more consistent with his fastball. That slider, he's thrown some really nasty ones to Kotze. Can't seem to get the break he wants here to Ryan Braun. Fastball started low from the moment it left his hand, ended up in the dirt.
Three-two slider. Pulled foul. Braun was out in front. Well, his slider's been 86, 87, 75, 83 in this at bat. All over the place velocity-wise. Popped up, out into center. Tony Campana says, I'll take it. 2 away. Fielder hasn't put a ball in play. Intentionally walked, and then he struck out in the 4th and the 6th. All those plate appearances against Brian Dempster. Castro and Barney are in the outfield. Fielder didn't think he swung at it. Ryan O'Norris says, I called it a strike anyway. Now he held up, but that was a called strike 1. Here's a 1-1 outside, 2-1.
Yeah, the pitch before just caught the bottom of the strike zone.
Casey McGee is on deck.
Marmol just trying to find that happy middle ground with that slider. As you mentioned, his velocity on that pitch has been all over the place tonight. Normally that's his most consistent pitch.
Ball 4, and it will be McGee with Fielder at first.
Slider once again just didn't take enough break to get it back to that outside corner. May have been down a little bit as well.
McGee 1 for 5 with a walk and 2 strikeouts against Marmol. Fastball strike. Two and 1, Corey Hart in the on-deck circle. He will only get a chance if McGee reaches. Caught the corner, 2-2. Probably wouldn't be a terrible idea just to throw to first, just to really take a step off Fielder's secondary lead, although he's not concerned. Fielder takes off. McGee strikes out. Cubs win. Marmol walked Fielder with 2 outs, but then he comes back, strikes out McGee on a 3-2 pitch, and the Cubs win on the 8th inning run.